Hi, thank you for joining me. My name's Lisa Camphire, and we are going to do a 30-minute short form Ashtanga inspired practice today. So if you can join me standing up at the top of your mat, big toes together, feet together, heels just slightly apart, and arms at your side, fingertips pointing to the earth, shoulders relaxed away from your ears, gazes forward. Empty your mind. Today, as we go throughout the practice, we will be using something called asana breath. Asana breath is simply breathing in through your nose and out through your nose with sound at equal paces. So the reason that we do this, there's a couple of reasons, but one of the reasons is that it is a detoxifying breath, because when we are breathing in through our nose and out through our nose, we're creating some heat. Our nostrils are sort of like a humidifier, a filtration system for us. The dirt, dust, and icky particles in your nose are going to sink into the bloodstream as you sweat them out throughout the practice. And the other reason that we do asana breath is it warms up our body, which helps us move through the postures. So I will be directing you to use the asana breath, and let's practice it together before we begin. So breathing in through your nose and exhaling through your nose. If you're doing it correctly, you might hear a little bit of a snore. And let's do it one more time. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Might help if you put the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. One more breath in through your nose and out through your nose. So remember to focus on this as we move through the postures. I will be reminding you. I will also be directing you to direct your gaze on focal points called dristis, and occasionally we will be doing bandhas, which are binds. So standing at the top of your mat with your big toes together, we're going to begin with Surya Namaskara A and Surya Namaskara B, which are sun salutations A and B. We're going to do 2 sun salutations A, and we begin with our arms raising up overhead, gazes up as you inhale, palms together. Exhale, folding forward, planting your hands on either side of your feet, tucking your chin, kissing your knees. As you exhale, inhale, flat back, gaze forward. Exhale, step back into a high plank, lowering down, keeping your elbows tucked in for chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog, gaze forward. Exhaling, lifting up through your hips into down dog. Holding here for 5 breaths. The goal is to plant your heels onto the earth behind you. Stretch your arms, spread your fingertips wide, and breathe in through your nose for 1. Exhale. Gazes at your navel, breathing in for 2. Exhale. Breathing in 3. Breathing 4, sinking as you exhale on each breath, breathing 5, and then on your next exhale, taking your gaze towards your palms and jumping, stepping, or hopping, or simply walking your feet to the front of the mat. Inhaling, flat back, gazing forward. Exhaling, tucking your chin, kissing your knees. Inhaling, coming back up to arms up overhead, Exhaling, Samastita heat, which is a pose we will return to throughout the practice, simply standing at the front of your mat. We will be doing one more Surya Namaskara A, sun salutation A, inhaling, palms up overhead, exhaling, folding forward, tucking your chin, kissing your knees, inhaling, flat back, exhaling, stepping back to high plank, lowering down, chaturanga, inhaling, up dog, exhaling, down dog, holding 5 breaths. Breathing 2. Breathing in 3. In for 4. One more breath in. Gazing towards the top of the mat, jumping, stepping, or hopping your feet to join your hands. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, tucking your chin, kissing your knees. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling, Samastiti Heat. Surya Namaskara B is very similar to A. We start out sinking into a seated position. Arms up overhead, palms together, arms are straight. Inhaling, exhaling, folding forward, kissing your knees, tucking your chin. Inhaling, flat back as you gaze forward. Exhaling, stepping back to high plank, lowering down chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Pivoting and planting your left foot, bringing your right up between the palms of your hands into a runner's lunge. Exhaling, inhaling as you rise up into Virabhadrasana A, palms up overhead. Inhaling, exhaling, hands back on either side of your foot, stepping back to plank, lowering down chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Pivoting and planting the right foot, bringing the left palm, inhaling, rising up, palms overhead. Inhale, exhale, hands back down, stepping back to high plank, lowering down chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Hold here 5 breaths. You should feel warm now and ready to take on the rest of the practice. Breathing in 2. Exhale. Make sure you smile. Breathe in 3. Breathing in through the nose 4. Breathing in 5. On your next exhale, take your gaze forward. Jump, step, or hop your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, tuck your chin. Inhale, drop your knees. Arms up overhead. Exhale, Samastiti Heat. Our next pose is Pada Gustasana and Pada Hastasana. So stepping slightly more than hip width apart, hands on either hip or on both hips. Inhaling and leading with your heart center, gaze is forward as you fold forward with your flat back. Peace finger and thumb around your big toe. Inhaling, flat back as you gaze forward. Exhale, fold forward. Use the strength of your arms, elbows out like a box. The crown of your head reaching for the floor. We're holding here for 5 breaths. Inhaling 1. Inhaling 2. If you need to bend your knees slightly, the goal is to have your belly on your thighs. Inhaling 3. Inhaling 4. One more breath in. Exhale, inhale, gaze forward. Taking the palms of your hands and fingertips towards your heels, stepping onto your hands. Toes towards your wrists. Inhaling, flat back, straight arms. Exhaling, folding again, using the elbows out like a box and folding forward, holding 5 breaths, lengthening through the backs of your legs. Inhaling 1. Inhaling 2. Inhaling 3. Feel your legs lengthening with each exhale. One more breath in. On your next exhale, gaze forward, flat back. Release your hands. Place them on your hips, keeping your back flat and straight, gazing forward. Slowly rise up so that you don't get dizzy. Stepping to the front of your mat in Samastiti Heat. We're going to move on to Parsvottanasana. So taking hands behind your back and grabbing opposite elbows. Stepping with your right foot out towards the back of your mat. Toes towards the back of your mat. Left foot parallel with the front of your mat. Square your hips and shoulders, and if you are able to reach your hands into prayer position behind your back, please feel free to do so. Inhaling, leading with your heart center, flat back, folding forward over your front leg, down the tip of your nose towards your toes, keeping your back flat and straight, belly to the thigh, chin to shin. Inhaling, we're here for 5 breaths. 1, and exhaling. If you feel a little wobbly, imagine you're on small train tracks instead of a tightrope. Breathing in 3. Pay attention to your shoulders and hips. In for 4. Gaze down the tip of your nose. 1 more breath in. On your next exhale, slowly rise up with your back flat and straight. Gaze forward. We're going to pivot our feet the other direction, lifting the right toes and turning, lifting the left heel and turning so that we are facing towards the front of our mat. Squaring the shoulders and hips, leading with the heart center, folding over the left leg, gazing forward as gazing down the tip of your nose at your big toe, breathing here for 5. So 1. Breathing 2. Breathing 3. Breathing 4. 1 more breath in, and on your next exhale, slowly rising up, coming to the top of your mat in Samasthiti. And I am going to be facing you. You can stay at the top of your mat. We are going to move into a balancing pose. Ardha Baddha Paschimottanasana. Whew. So standing with your left leg strong and tall, engaging your abdomen, hips, and your back. Left hand on your hip. If there's a few variations, I am going to take the one that I am most comfortable with today. So grabbing my right foot and bringing it up into my left hip crease and holding, let me get myself, holding with my left hand, using the strength of my left elbow, sorry. You want to open your hip, you guys all look great. And using the strength of your abdomen and back, if you are able to fold forward, please feel free to go into the pose. And arm out if you are able to extend, using your back and the strength of your back, holding 5 breaths. So breathing 1, breathing 2, breathing 3, and 4, and 5. Releasing the legs, stepping onto the right foot. There's always one side that's easier than the other. So this time grabbing your left foot into your right hand or into your right hip crease and opening that hip or knee, standing nice and tall and straight. Arm out if you're able to balance or if you are able to bind. And if you want to fold forward, please feel free to do so. Use the strength of your right arm to hold the top of your foot, breathing for 5. 4, arch through your chest, breathing 2. And 1. Releasing back down. Stepping to the top of the mat in Samasthiti. We're going to move down to the mat. So arms up overhead, inhaling, folding forward, palms on either side of the feet, tucking your chin, inhaling flat back, stepping back to plank, lowering down chaturanga, inhaling up dog, exhaling down dog, stepping forward to your feet are at the top of the mat, inhaling flat back, exhaling fold forward, dropping into that seated position, arms up overhead, palms together, holding 5 breaths. 1, 2, sinking as far as you're comfortable, breathing 3, and breathing 4. On your 5th breath, folding forward, kissing your knees, tucking your chin, inhaling flat back, exhaling, stepping back to plank, exhaling chaturanga, inhaling up dog, Exhaling, down dog, pivoting and planting the left foot, bringing the right forward into your runner's lunge. Exhale, inhale, rising up into Virabhadrasana A, warrior one, palms together, hips and shoulders squared, holding 5 breaths. Breathing 4, lunging as far as you can, breathing 3, breathing 2, reaching up, and breathing 1, straightening the right leg, keeping your gaze up, pivoting your feet opposite direction, and lunging into the left leg, pushing in opposite directions with your feet. Arms are up, gaze is up, breathing 4, breathing 3, breathing 2, and breathing 1. Opening arms to opposite ends of the mat. Fingertips stretching in opposite directions. Sitting tall and straight like you're in a saddle. Looking over your left fingertips. And we're holding here 5 breaths. Virabhadrasana B. Warrior 2. Breathing 3. Breathing 4. Breathing 5. Straightening your left leg. Pivoting your toes the other direction. So you're now facing your right leg, lunging into warrior 2. Again, fingertips stretching in opposite directions, fingers together, holding here 5 breaths. So breathing 3, breathing 4, and breathing 5. Pinwheeling the arms down on either side of your foot, stepping back to high plank, lowering down chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Stepping through to a seated position. Hello. So stretching your legs out in front of you, sitting tall and straight, flexing your feet. Now placing your palms of your hands next to your sit bones, either slightly back or slightly forward so that your shoulders are relaxed away from your ears, tucking your chin, and sitting tall and straight. We're holding here 5 breaths. 1. 2. This is staff pose. 3. 4. And 5. Lifting your head, taking your hands about 1 or 2 hand lengths behind you, fingertips pointing towards your toes and hips. There are 2 variations. You can plant your feet. This is Purvottanasana. Yes, I think that's right. So plant your feet, lift your hips up into a flat tabletop position, or keep your legs straight and lifting with your hips, rolling your shoulders back, dropping your head back, holding 5 breaths, lifting through the hips, knees together, pointing your toes, breathing 3, breathing 4, and breathing 5. Lowering your hips, hands up into the sky. We're folding forward for Paschimottanasana, grabbing the peace finger and thumb around our big toes, flat back, straight forward. Exhale, fold forward, knees or elbows to the mat, chin to shin, holding 5 breaths. Gaze down the tip of your nose at your big toes. Breathing 2. Breathing 3. Breathing 4. And breathing 5. Coming up, we're going to do another seated position called Trianga Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana. Yes. Okay, so taking your right leg and folding it underneath, keeping your thighs as close together as you can. Left foot flexed and straight, slightly rotated in, arms up, flat back and straight, folding forward. Gaze down the tip of your nose at your toe. If you can grab your shin behind your foot, if you can interlace your fingers, that's great. We're breathing here for 5. You want to keep your back flat and straight. So just wherever you find yourself is good. Breathing 3. And bend your elbows a little. Breathing 4. And 5. Coming up, we're going to do our other side. Stretching the right leg out in front, folding the left underneath. Again, thighs together, right leg slightly rotated in and flexed, arms up and folding forward. Wherever you find yourself comfortable with your back flat and straight, if you can grab behind your foot, fantastic. Holding for 5. Breathing 1. Breathing 2. Breathing 3. Breathing 4. And 5. Coming up and working through a seated vinyasa, so crossing your legs, stepping or jumping back through to a high plank, lowering down for chaturanga, inhaling for up dog, exhaling for down dog, and stepping through to a seated position. We're going to move into Urdhva Dhanurasana, bridges. So grabbing the backs of your thighs and slowly rolling down onto your back. If your fingertips are at the backs of your ankles, if you can grab your ankles, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, you can interlace your fingers as you push up with your feet, lifting your hips into the sky and rolling through your shoulders, shifting until you're comfortable, pushing as high as you can. We're holding here for 5 breaths. Move your chin away from your chest. Gaze up through the tip of your nose, breathing 2. Breathing 3. Knees together, pushing up. Breathing 4. And 5. Slowly rolling down 1 vertebra at a time until your lower back is grounded into the earth. Bring your knees up to your chest. Lift your head and kiss your knees. Maybe rock a little from side to side and rock and roll forward until you're up in a nice seated position. I'm going to face you. You can stay at the top of your mats. We're going to move into Baddha Padmasana. So if you're able to put your foot into the left hip crease, or if you're able to get into a full lotus position, feel comfortable and go ahead and do so. Or you can sit crisscross, seated, comfortable, tall and straight through the spine. Relax your shoulders away from your ears, taking your arms behind your back, grabbing opposite elbows. If you are able and comfortable putting your hands in prayer position behind your back, you may do so. And squaring your shoulders and hips, leading with your heart center, folding forward over your legs. This posture binds our entire practice and all of the energy we have put into it. We're holding here for 5 breaths. 1. Breathing 2. Gaze down the tip of your nose. Breathing 3. Breathing 4. And 5. Rising back up. Arms are long and straight. Wrists on the backs of your knees. Peace finger and thumb together. Sitting tall and straight, tucking your chin, relaxing and holding here for 5 breaths. Breathing 2. Breathing 3. Breathing 4. And 5, lifting your head, taking palms on either side of your sit bones for our final seated pose. Uttanasana or like I call it lift pose. So we're gonna lift. So we're gonna gaze forward, and if you are able to lift, lift it. Otherwise, the intention is that you're lifting off the mat and you're holding 5 breaths. Holding 1. Breathing 2, looking forward. Push, 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 push. Breathing 3, you got it. Y'all look so good. Breathing 4. And when you think you can't do anymore, go ahead and lower yourself down. Okay. Let your legs come unwrapped. Step back to the high plank. Lower down for chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Stepping through to a seated position. This time, turn around so that your head is at the top of your mat. We're going to lower into our final resting pose, Shavasana. So taking your hands on the backs of your thighs, slowly rolling down. When you feel like you're grounded into the mat and onto the earth, take your right foot and lift it up into the sky, and then drop it to the corner of your mat. Take your left leg, lift it in the sky, and then let it drop the left corner of your mat. Right arm up in the sky, relax it onto the earth, let it just fall weightless and like spaghetti. Do the same with your left arm until it's dropped, relaxed on either side of you. Shift yourself around and make those micro adjustments until you feel comfortable. Scan your body from the top of your head, from your crown, and all the way down through your spine. Scan your face. Take a big breath in. When you exhale, make out a sound of relief. Breathe in one more time. Let it all out. Start to slow your breathing down. Scan your body for any last bit of tension that you can release and let go. Start to release all the thoughts of what you're going to do later and what you did before. Let your mind come to the here and the now. Slowly begin to just release and relax. When you begin to feel the energy return to your limbs, you begin to notice your breathing. You return to the thoughts of thanking yourself for taking care of yourself today and for being here and accomplishing all these wonderful things. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Rotate your ankles and wrists. Stretch your feet out beneath you and your arms up overhead like you're waking up in the morning for a big stretch. And then bring your knees up to your chest. Kiss the knees and rock back and forth. When you're comfortable, roll to one side in a fetal position. When you feel ready, you can join me up on the mat in a seated position with your eyes closed, sitting comfortable in a cross-legged pose with your hands at your heart in prayer center. Make sure you have a big smile on your face. Thank you for practicing with me today and for all these months. I've really enjoyed spending time with all of you, and I appreciate each one of you so much. Namaste.